What is going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans, and of course college football fans everywhere? This is the Big Trail Network, and I'm Tyzilla83. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to stop by and check out this video. We're going to talk about Ole Miss, or Arkansas hosting the Ole Miss Rebels anyways. So before we get into that, at the end of the video, like, comment, feel free to tap the share button. Let's get into it. Arkansas hosting the Rebels. What does Arkansas got to do to beat the Ole Miss Rebels? What do they need to do to just get back on track, to get their first SEC win of the year? Let's lay it out there. Let's be blunt. Let's be ex-wife, ex-husband blunt here. You know, when you're going through that process, I would imagine, I don't know, I've been married 10 plus years happily. I don't know what that's like, but I've heard some terrible things. Let's do that, okay? Throw it out there. We need a divorce from Rob Smith. And when I mean we, the Razorbacks, they need a divorce from Rob Smith. This guy has been awful since after the 2014 season. They've gone backwards. They've backpedaled to the back of the SEC. 2014, they were one of the top 3 defenses in the SEC. Top 15, top 20 in the country. And doing that in the SEC is pretty impressive. It's always one thing or another. One year defense plays great, but the offense, isn't so great. Then the offense, like last year under Brandon Allen, his last year, and Alex Collins and Hunter Henry, they were fantastic on offense, but they were terrible on defense. Here we are this year. Offense is doing well, other than the offensive line. I think some people expected there to be some bumps in the road, and maybe that's another relationship we need to talk about later on if Kurt Anderson can't get this thing done. Obviously, I'm not saying we need to fire him after year one, but couple of years under his belt, and if this team hasn't improved at not getting their quarterback killed, then maybe it's time to go talk to that lawyer and file for a divorce. But right now, Rob Smith is in our crosshairs in terms of maybe the Razorbacks need to consider things. I know I'm saying this before a game. That's pretty unorthodox. Normally it would be after a shellacking. I don't know what Arkansas does to look any better than they have the rest of the year against this type of high-tempo offense. They're about to play the best complete quarterback that they've played all year in Kelly. They're going to have to figure out how to contain this guy, slow him down, create havoc and chaos in the backfield. That's what they're going to have to do to just at least contain Ole Miss's offense. We know how good they are. We kind of know why they're as good as they are and why they've recruited as well as they have. That's besides the point. That's another video that I cannot wait to make, by the way. But their product on the field on offense is good. Now, we know Ole Miss's defense is worse than Arkansas's. That's the only reason why I think the Hogs have a shot here. You know how you beat this offense? It's the same thing they have to do every week. Don't let your defense take the field. Don't do it. I'm begging the Razorbacks, don't let them at all. Put your special teams unit out there. I think they do just as well on defense when Kelly comes out on the field. I'm just so let down by how poor they have played this year. It has been embarrassing. Can he turn it around? I think he can. I do. I think he can turn it around. We know the depth and the talent they have on the defensive line was regarded as one of the top 4, top 5 in the SEC, which is saying a lot. We know they're without Dre Greenlaw, and that's a punch in the gut. They do have Brooks Ellis. Secondary has improved. I think that's that's really a compliment to the new DB coach. But overall, as a unit, this defense, I just go back and watch that Alabama game. Alabama was almost like they just didn't even want to try. Like, Alabama started to just feel sorry for the Razorbacks and just pumped the brakes by, the beginning of the fourth quarter. It was just bad. Until they get that figure out how to contain guys like Kelly. Now, Kelly's good. You have to give Ole Miss their credit with this guy. He is a really talented quarterback. A little hot-headed at times. Some wonder if he should see some disciplinary action against the Razorbacks because of what he did at his brother's game. I think that's I don't know that anything he did was necessarily, did he look like a dumbass trying to get into a fight on a high school football field? Yes. But come on, man, you're representing the SEC. It makes you and your program look kind of sillier than they already have. They look pretty silly right now. Ole Miss does with all the allegations, but on top of the fact they lost to a average Florida State team, too. That's why I feel like Arkansas has a shot at winning this game. I don't think they will. If I was a betting man right now, if you're on the line with your with your buddies and you're gambling away, I don't know that I'd put money on the Razorbacks. I don't even know if I'd take them with the spread. I don't know. What is it, 8 points or something? I feel like Ole Miss wins this one. Maybe it's close because of how bad their defense is, but then eventually in the fourth quarter they take over and they break the 3-year streak or the 2-year. There won't be a 3-year winning streak versus Ole Miss for Arkansas. What I'm trying to say. So. Betting, man, I just don't feel good about this because of how terrible Arkansas's defense is and the fact that they haven't been able to sustain running drives. They haven't been able to sustain the run game at all this year. This is, under Brett Bielema, maybe one of his least impressive years in terms of, what his run game's supposed to be able to do. They haven't been able to do much. They don't look flashy this year. They've been able to lean on Collins and Jonathan Williams, for a little while, other than last year. I know Williams didn't play, but they've been able to rely on, Alex Collins last year and his ability to do what he does and a little bit of Raleigh last year. This could be the game, too, where these guys turn it up and they just completely run these guys over. But that means the offensive line is going to have to do their job. So, I don't know. May see Zach Rogers start today, but we are still going to see Froholt. They're going to take out the Texas transfer. And maybe we'll see some Zach Rogers today. I'm taking Ole Miss in this one. If I had to guess a score, holy God. It could be a high-scoring affair. Games like this, you always expect it to be like 55-42, and then they wind up being like 25-14. But I am going to take Ole Miss something like 45. I'll say 45-30, 31. We'll see. But, yeah, taking Ole Miss double digits. Hope I'm wrong. So... until the next video, you guys try like hell to be kind to one another. Peace.